June 13th, 2017. It was the time of E3 that it happened. The Switch has been out since March and Breath of the Wild has taken the world by storm. Staple titles and expansions were announced there too. Splatoon 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 2,
Pervert!
Champions Ballad, and Mario Odyssey. But there was one title in the midst of all of that would leach into our minds and remain there for years to come. Metroid Prime 4 was announced, and in development for the Switch. Another title that had the world, and of course yours truly, in awe. There was no set date as to when it was going to be released, which in hindsight I probably should have taken as a sign that it was going to take a while for this game to come out. I was expecting the game was going to release in 2018, at the latest, 2019. I was wrong. January of 2019. We receive an official statement from Mr. Takahashi regarding the development of Prime 4. We basically heard nothing about this game for a whole year, and it shows. Things weren't going as planned. Nintendo wasn't pleased with how it was looking, and unfortunately, Prime 4 was going to be set back further as they had decided to restart development of the game. This time, however, it was with the people who were key in the Prime Trilogy's creation, Retro Studios. It was a disappointment that day, but knowing that the original company was on board in the development process, I had a sliver of hope. And then, we waited. The world was locked inside for the better half of 1 year because of a virus. Some of us played Animal Crossing to pass the time. Dramas were popping up left and right. And then, a new Metroid game. One on an equal level of obscurity and long wait time, is revealed to the world and would release in October of 2021. Project Dread had been completed after a very long time. Fusion was added to GBA for Nintendo Online, and Metroid Prime Remaster shadow dropped last year. And with all that said, here we are now. June 18th, 2024.
Goddamn!
7 years in the making. Real gameplay and a release window. I've gone from my sophomore year of high school to what will soon be my senior year of college to get to this point. I had a feeling that the Prime Remaster was foretelling what was to come. But I think now, it's time for a conversation. Sylux, a bounty hunter and antagonist introduced to the series in 2012 when Kid... Wait, sorry, that's the sequel. Hang on, let me just see here. Right. Introduced to the series in 2006 when Metroid Prime Hunters released for the DS. He was one of the 6 bounty hunters who traversed to the Olympic Cluster after several individuals, including the Federation, received a telepathic message about the secret to ultimate power. Not much is known about him, aside from the fact that he has an intense hatred towards the Federation and, subsequently, Samus Aran. His armor, weapons, and even his ship are all some form of stolen Federation technology. He battles Samus several times on this mission, eventually being defeated and retreating after Samus' fight against Goria. We'd see him again, a year later, in the 100% ending of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. After Samus flies out of Elysia and into the depths of space, we see a mysterious ship show up that's clearly following her. This ship is very similar in appearance to Sylux's. Aside from this most recent trailer, Sylux's latest appearance was in Metroid Prime Federation Force. In the secret ending, we see a Metroid egg hatching in a Federation facility. The camera pans out to show the pointed shoulder of a person in blue armor. And in conjunction with the trailer, Sylux is with not one, but two Metroids at his side. The only other person we've seen tame a Metroid is Samus in Metroid 2. And we see how far that bond goes when the baby unfortunately dies, saving Samus from Mother Brain at the end of Super Metroid. To now see somebody has tamed the Metroids before Samus has, makes me wonder if this also adds to her hesitation when she encountered the baby. Samus has been alone for a very long time, and with rarely any friends or family to keep close by. Her mother was murdered by Ridley before her eyes. Her father sacrificed himself to stop the pirates. Grey Voice died fighting against Mother Brain after the pirate invasion of Zebes, the second place that she called home. Her relationship with Adam was strained because of the botched mission involving the death of his brother Ian. It's safe to say that Samus is a very lonely person, who's had tragedy follow her through every relationship that she's had. And now in this moment, on SR-388, I think it's more than just Samus putting this Metroid in the same shoes that she was in when she encountered Ridley for the first time as a child. It's now the fact that she knew one of her most elusive and dangerous adversaries was capable of doing what was deemed impossible. Perhaps she could too. This is it. The final loose end. Or at least I think it'll be. Aside from the story of Sylux, this isn't the only loose end left untied in the Prime series. Throughout the Metroid series as a whole, we've seen remnants of the Chozo Society. Hieroglyphics drawn of unknown figures, their language written on the walls of derelict temples and other architecture, their technology used by and against Samus, and of course, the creation of the creature that the series gets its name from. But as the Prime series progressed, we've been introduced to other advanced species whose societies mostly became lost to time and have had contact with the Chozo in that time. The Luminoth, Olympix, and Reptilicus are some of the few we've gotten to know about. However, there are two lost civilizations who have been mentioned in previous games, but never been explored. The Incren and the Ela. The Incren are mentioned in the Luminoth lore of Prime 2. They played a key part in helping the Luminoth settlement on Aether, along with the Chozo and the Ela. However, the Ela are mentioned twice in both Prime 2 and 3 by both the Luminoth and the Reptilicus. The Ela, I believe, are more interesting as we really know nothing about their history. The Incren, however, were never mentioned outside the history that they have with the Luminoth, meaning there's at least something that we know about them. At the end of the trailer, we see a lush jungle with these ginormous trees atop a mountain as these alien birds fly towards them. In the left of the background, you can see a bridge leading to a particularly large tree and over a giant chasm. We don't know the origins of it. It could be Chozo for all we know. But considering that in two of the games the Ela are mentioned by name, I'm thinking and hoping that whatever this planet and architecture is, it's Ela in origin. Perhaps Sylux has ties to the Ela. They're both people whose faces we've never seen. And with that, we've come to the end. I'll leave this to fester in your minds as development progresses. Perhaps in the future I can discuss the lore of these other societies in Metroid. Let me know what you think. And of course, yes, Part 7 of Zero Mission will release. And I, Meta, from the day that Zero Mission ends, will go on as 4 on the floor. Thank you for watching. Like, sub, and share, and I will see you all later.